In lesson 2 of unit 9, perimeter, area, and volume, we're going to look at exploring rectangles. And what I mean by exploring rectangles is we're going to compare their perimeter and area when we manipulate or change one of our dimensions, either our length or our width. So to begin with, I'd like you to draw a rectangle in your notebook that is 2 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. You can pause the video to do that. Now that you've got the rectangle drawn, we're going to find the area of the rectangle. Again, remember area equals length times width. So the area of our rectangle is 2 centimeters times 3 centimeters, which gives us 6 centimeters squared. Remember, area is in units squared. Now draw a rectangle with double the length of the original, and we're going to find the area of the rectangle. So you can pause while you draw. So you've drawn a rectangle now that has double the length. So you've drawn it 4 centimeters long and 3 centimeters wide. Again, the area will be 4 centimeters long times 3 centimeters wide. Our area will be 12 square centimeters. This time draw a rectangle with double the width of the original and leave the length the same and find the area. In this rectangle, our area equals length times width. We've left the length, the original, 2 centimeters, and we've doubled the width to 6 centimeters. We now have an area of 12 centimeters squared. And I want to point out that when we double one of our lengths, if we double just the length, we've doubled our area. If we double just our width, we've doubled our original area. So let's try this lastly. Let's draw a rectangle with double the length and double the width and find its area, and let's see what happens to our original rectangle. So area equals length times width. I'm going to double the original length to 4 centimeters. I'm going to multiply it by double the original width, which is 6 centimeters. My area is now 24 centimeters squared. So what happened to my area? I quadrupled it, or I made it 4 times as large. Area is 4 times as large. I had 2 times my width and 2 times my length. So I have 4 times the area. In the blue and red examples, I had 2 times my width, so I had 2 times my area. I had 2 times my length. I think I have those backwards, sorry. But I've still only doubled my area. When I double both units, I have 2 times 2 essentially, which makes it 4 times as large. So here's a practical application for you. What is the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 1.2 meters and a width of 0.8 meters? Now remember, be very careful in this unit. We're going to go back and forth between perimeter and area quite often. Remember, perimeter equals a length plus a width times 2. So I've got a perimeter of 1.2 as my length and 0.8 as my width. Multiply it by 2. So my perimeter, 1.2 plus 8/10 is 2 meters times 2. So my perimeter is 4 meters. What's the area? Remember, area equals length times width. So my area is going to equal 1.2 meters times 0.8 meters, which is a result of 0.96 meters squared. I ask you secondarily, what is the area in square centimeters? Well, you say, okay, well, I know that meters squared, if you remember back to the last unit, how many, 1 meter squared is how many centimeters? How many? 10,000. So to find my measurement, am I going to multiply or divide? I'm moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit, so I'm going to multiply. 4 zeros in 10,000 tells me 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So how many centimeters? 9,600 centimeters. Remember, we're still talking about area. We're talking about squared. We're going to begin to refer to pieces of our problem, if you will, as factors and products. Length and width are our factors. Area, in this case, is our product. So we're going to begin to refer to them as factors and products. So let's take my original rectangle, which was 1.2 meters long and 0.8 of a meter wide. Well, what happens if we double the width? So I want to know both perimeter and area. So perimeter equals length plus width times 2. So we're going to say if I double my width, my perimeter is now 1.2 plus 1.6. It's 0.8 times 2. So when I figure this, I have 1.2 plus 1.6. My perimeter equals 2.8 times 2. My perimeter is 5.6 centimeters. Originally, my original perimeter was 4 centimeters. So by doubling the width, I've increased my perimeter by 1.6 centimeters. If I move over to the area, area equals length times width. My area is, my length is still 1.2. My width is 1.6. So my area equals 1.2 times 1.6. My area equals 1.92 centimeters squared. Previously, my perimeter was 0.96. So what do we anticipate happened when finding area? If I double the width, what's going to happen? It's twice as large now. Originally, my area was 0.96, but I doubled the length, or I had I doubled the width, 2 times the width. And if you remember back to the previous slide, if I multiply one of my lengths times 2, what's going to happen to my area? It's going to be double. So it's now 1.92 centimeters squared. So to finish off the comparisons, I'm going to give you one to try at home. So here's your challenge. In your notebook, find the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 15 meters and a width of 8 meters. Now remember, again, perimeter, formula is length plus width times 2. Then I'm going to ask you, what is the area? And again, remember, area is length times width. What is it in square centimeters? And then I'm going to ask you what happens if we double the width. So several steps here. 1, find the perimeter. 2, find the area. 3, find both the perimeter and area if you double the width, and then compare. Now, if you need to think back to what we just did to compare the perimeter and area, simply rewind the video, or actually what I'll do now is I'll go back and say, how did we compare? Well, I compared by saying I increased it by a certain amount, and if I double one of the lengths, I think I'm just giving you the answer, you're welcome, I'm going to double my area. So I'm going to go back to slide 5. There's your challenge. See you tomorrow.